Hello and welcome back to Dominion 6, to the slowest blitz. Alright, it's been a long time for me, so I'm hopping back in, hoping to try and really bang out a bunch of episodes here and a bunch of turns. And get this series completed and up. Because I've been on a bit of a hiatus, and there's quite a backlog of things that I need to get to. So we got to finish this before we can get to the next things. You can't have your dessert until you eat your dinner. So with that said, it has been a while since I looked at this game. This turn, however, I think we're not doing too much. We are doing a Flame Spirit, a little bit of Dark Knowledge. We're doing a 3 red seconds. Get a nice, get this fort up that we need on our throne, which is pretty important. A little bit of Sight Searching, some Infernal Crusades, and some Raven Feasts. And then in terms of foraging, mostly lanterns and a Ring of Returning in case we need it later. We are not currently at war with anybody, so we're not currently no events. We did find an Alchemist Guild. This would be pretty great to turn, turn stuff into money more effectively. We do have intense money problems, although we're not exactly rolling in fire gems. Other than that, yep, 9 more death gems from our stuff. And so it's a pretty quick turn, 64. We're gonna go right into 65. Yes, there's an entire next game with a lot of the same people, which I have not successfully cast yet, as well as another game that started with almost, they have similar names, which is what is getting me here as I look for the next turn. Plus, we have the Lucid Tournament Round 1 game, and other things. We got 9 death gems. Looks like we missed on all of our Sight Searching. 7 death gems. It's okay. Bottle of Living Water's pretty nice. Bunch of water gems. Some extra defense. Still bringing in the Blood Slaves. Oops. I always want to do S, but it's not S, it's C to look at spells. More Dark Knowledge. More Infernal Crusades, Raven Feast, more Sight Searching, Black Hearts for Assassinations, Blood Pendant, Lightless Lantern, and Eye of the Void. So some more pretty casual stuff. We are not really doing too much. We're trying to help our Dominion here. We are moving up this guy who will be able to do Blood Sack to try and help our Dominion here. We are getting preached, essentially. There's a temple, there's a temple, there's a temple. Our Dominion is definitely under threat. And I don't think that this was a super high Dominion build to begin with. And so millions of temples from everybody definitely put our Dominion in some threat. Although it's not like it's has a huge problem, but something to think about. But yeah, another pretty chill turn. Just go right into 66. And I didn't recheck all of these before I started this video, so it's a surprise to me what happens too. I know what the next main event is, but I can't remember what turn it starts. More death gems, Infernal Crusades, found a Gallows. I think that's 1 death gem. Yeah, 1 death gem. More death gems from Raven Feast. Yeah, we're kind of like rotating our Raven's Feast crops for all the undead we're generating from all the blood hunting. So you can see we have a massive death stockpile. I don't have a plan at this time of what to do with that death stockpile. I don't think we have a ton of death mages either. We've got these 2 goofs basically and some vampires. So we do have a death 4, or no, sorry, it's death 3 here. This guy's a death 4, so we can definitely cast any death we can sort of get up to. It looks like we are headed up to Well of Misery. Now, I think Will of Misery is up, though. So... no, I take that back. Will of Misery is not up. We'd have to overcast something, but we do have quite a lot of gems, so that is very doable. Every time. Some more site searching. Another vampire. Raven Feast. Bloodthorns, more flying items. Rabbit Foot Charm, and an Arcane Lens. Again, just trying to fix up some of our Dominion problems, trying to get ourselves fully site searched. Had to get these gnomes, put these gnomes to work. We do have 1 million glamour gems as well. That we'll eventually probably find a home for with Fairy Queens, is I'm sure what we're doing here. Or it's a Fairy Court. Fairy Queens, of course, being able to cast some of them such excellent spells as Wailing Winds, although it is no longer a guarantee that they get air magic. So sometimes they'll get it and sometimes they won't. But that's just kind of the luck of the draw. But another pretty quiet turn. So we'll go to 67. I think it's probably fair to say that I could have been more aggressive in here. Singing Tree is nice. Oh yeah, this was a huge one. Found an illusionist who doesn't matter too much for us now that we have gnomes, but Veil Army could be huge. That's an ability we do not really have access to. But that's 3 gems, 4 gems, 6 gems. That one cast found 6 gems, which is pretty crazy. Unrest. We can't afford our upkeep. We absolutely need to go and take a war. We are spending too much time at maximum income with no treasury. It's kind of silly. We are moving out blood hunting to greener pastures. Although this one isn't great. I don't remember if we're staying there or not, but we're also rolling out a bunch of troops this way. And they're going to try and move through to defend our sort of central thing. Blood hunting there. So, yep. Some more chill stuff. We're going to get right this time. More End of the Rainbows. We're going to get a Wraith Lord with our Death Gems. A Golem. Great Eagles. And a Raven's Feast. So those Great Eagles are going to be... They're nice patrollers. And they're excellent siege strength. Do we forge anything? Amulet of the Dead, Ring of Regen, more Black Hearts, Blood Pendants, Witch's Ointments, and a Crown of Bones. We have to kind of use our demons if we want to have like tons of undead leadership right now. Those Crowns of Bones will help like these guys potentially have access to a lot more leadership for our demons if we do end up needing that. All right, let's go to 68. All right, we empowered a Golem in blood. I guess I missed that one when I was looking around. 9 Death Gems. Crystal Garden is worth 2 more gems. Some Great Eagles. We lost our Dominion. Got a bunch of gems for the price that we were willing to pay of 1 gold. Always nice. Our blood income is kind of down this turn because we're moving around, but we can hope that it'll catch up again as we get to greener pastures. Okay, we are also finally rolling out. We're gonna go fight Ulm, who's under siege from barbarians, though that is a coincidence. But yeah, we're gonna go fight Ulm, I think. We're marching out 300 demon knights, plus some other miscellaneous troops. We're forging a bunch of thistle maces for all the nature we're gonna need to do this fighting. We'll cover the armies when we get closer, but it's finally time. It's happening. Now, Ulm is a really interesting target. So we know from when the graphs were last up, I don't think that we have access to them at... What am I clicking on? I want the globals. Yeah, nobody has Eyes of God up right now. But the last time we saw it, Ulm was the leader in research, which makes sense. They can make one gem items, 1 gem research items. Now, so I think they're going to have a lot of potent magics available, but they are very small. They basically... They had like a medium-sized expansion, not like a huge expansion, and just never fought a war. So they're real tiny. But while they are very small, they have access to 3 thrones. Or not access, they have 3 thrones. And that makes them kind of a double-edged sword, a problem for us, in that if we successfully win a war against them and take all their thrones, we will then have 5 thrones. You need 7 to win, and we border a throne. So there is a chance that people come after us once we do this. Now, and part of the reason we waited on this is that Nabaa is fighting against Agartha, and Vanarus is fighting against Abyssia, and then Man and Asphodel are still fighting. So all of our neighbors are in wars now that we've confirmed, and so I think that there's an opportunity to go and liberate Ulm's lands from the Ulmish. So we are going to go and try and march and do that. We also had received, and I can't remember if I'd spoken of it before, a cryptic hint from the person who had put up Eyes of God that they understood what Ulm's gameplay was. And when we think about what Eyes of God shows you, right, it mostly shows you sights. And so the only game plan that you could really be gathering from it is like a sight-based thing. And most of the sites are not going to give away a whole game plan. Like, even if he had the steel ovens, or he had an enchantment discount site, or a conjuration discount site, those probably don't really give away a game plan. So there's 2 things to me that essentially read as giving away a game plan. One would be a blood discount site. Now, Ulm obviously doesn't get blood, but if they had like a big blood discount site, like a 30 blood discount site, we could expect them to try and really break in, because it would be really worth it for them. Now, we don't see any evidence of that. The other thing, of course, would be necromancers for Tartarians, and there's in fact a Tartarian right here. And like I said, I knew this a while ago. I can't remember if I spoke about it because it's been so long. But they have Tartarians, which means they probably have necromancers, and necromancers come from a site that is capturable. So if we eat them, we can get Tartarians, and we have access to lots of death and nature that we can use to, get those Tartarians into commander status and into fighting form. So that would be a pretty sweet steal for us. As far as research goes, we're going to finish Thaumaturgy 6, which has got like Enslaved Mind. It's going to give us access to Wither Bones if we need it. Growing Fury if there's fatigue plays. Stuff like that. Gateway is huge potentially to get troops into position. So that's another big one. And then we're going to get Army of Bronze after that to make our troops really quite unkillable. In terms of going for Army of Bronze specifically, if we look at our options, right, there's Army of Bronze, Lead, and Gold. Bronze is the only one that we can reliably cast. Gold and Lead, we don't have super easy access to. We do not have those crosspath natively. We could use those like alchemists we found earlier this episode, but I think Army of Bronze is just going to be much, much easier for us to cast. In terms of which one is best in general, right, it's 5 fire resistance susceptible to shock, 4 MR susceptible to shock, and 4 strength susceptible to shock. The strength is the worst one for us. Not the worst one in general, but for us it's pretty bad because we have access to Blood 8, and so we can give +4 strength every combat anyway. So we're mostly just getting the Iron Skin effect, but I think that's still worth it. I mean, we're gonna be put like, we have access to fire resistance, we have access to MR, so it doesn't matter like too much. The MR would be the best one because we don't have a ton of astral, just the golems basically. But that's also why we can't really use it, because we don't have a ton of astral. But anyway, Army of Bronze should be cool. We're marching onto Ulm, or you know, near Ulm. We'll do one more turn of Ulmish preparations, and then we can probably stop there. No, that is the slowest blitz. And go into the next one. Alright, we did a Sea King's Court. I forgot to look at the stuff. We did a Fairy Court, like I said. End of the Rainbow. 12 Death Gems off Raven Feast. Some Wraith Lords. Just access to some nice Immortal Raiders. We do want to be careful. Could get access to... Should have access to Astral at this point. Because we know that the throne he has, or one of the thrones he has Astral Mages. So we either need to put a stealthy Astral Mage under them, or make sure they have enough MR to not get Mind Hunted. You can see, yeah, that Ulm took out these barbarians with cubes. Cubes are pretty dangerous. We're definitely going to want to cast Mass Enlarge and hope that he doesn't do so. Because if they can't swallow our Demon Knights, they're much, much worse. But you can see, lots of scary... He's got some really nice... This is off a site, these Arch Wizards. Come off of a bindable site, and they're really nice. Flying quickness cubes, very scary. Although the barbarians got kind of close. He did lose 7 cubes taking out these barbs, so I'm a little surprised that he did it that way. With access to Tartarians, I would have thought that you would just farm some experience on a Tart thug, but like, maybe he didn't have it in position, or I would have thought that'd probably be a little bit better. Some sneaking, patrolling stuff gets found. We lost someone to disease. So we are marching. We're gonna march multiple groups. We're gonna send, one army is gonna end up coming, they're gonna stage here and here. And then we'll attack this way and this way. And again, we'll cover the army composition when we get a little closer and can kind of actually see what we're doing. But we're doing more Raven's Feast and Ends of the Rainbows. Copper Plates, Blood Thorns. We're trying to get some more resist gear together. Moonvine Bracelet, Water Bracelet. And yeah, we're gonna march toward Ulm. All right, we're at about 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, we've done a lot of turns. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Hopefully the next couple turns will be a bit more in depth as we get into the Ulmish War proper. So, thanks everyone for joining me. I'm excited to hopefully be back here and doing a lot of videos. And yeah, hope to see you all in the next one. Have a great day.